In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I started a brand new podcast that generated over 100,000 downloads in the first 6 months. Now, this was my first time starting a podcast, and it was for a case study demonstration. Now, I maybe put in a couple hours per week max. So whether you have an established brand or you're just starting from scratch, podcasting is one of the easiest online businesses to start, in my opinion. Plus, it offers exposure to the best type of audiences. Statistics show that podcast listeners are ready to spend money to make their lives better. So I'm going to show you my exact workflow and all the tools that I'm using so you can apply the same steps for your business. So I'm going to do this really quick, and this video is not going to be edited at all. There's no flashy editing skills here. I just want to show you exactly what I've done to get these results. So if we jump over to my email, this is an email I got July 6th. I started the podcast in January 2024, and I reached 100,000 podcast downloads. So I have this podcast set up on Buzzsprout, and if we go to my statistics, over the last 30 days, I've gotten around 30,000 downloads, and this is for the past month of August, and I last set up an episode July 1st. So I haven't uploaded any podcast episodes for July or August. I've got season 2 coming out in September. We are August 11th right now, but you can see that my stats are still getting, around 1,000 downloads a day, even if I haven't published over the last, 45 days or so. So there's power in setting up a podcast because people will continually find it, even they'll find your first few episodes. So the first thing that you need to do is you need to plan your podcast concept. So if you're watching this right now, you perhaps already have a business topic, and this is going to apply directly to you. If you don't have a business and you're starting from scratch and you're thinking you want to create a podcast, what I would also recommend that you do is below this video, I'll have a link to this free course, and it's my course on beginners getting started with affiliate marketing. So I would recommend that you first find a niche for your business that you want to do, that you're extremely passionate about, and then look to podcasting and see if it is a good fit. You generally don't want to have the mind frame that you want to podcast and then you go out and try and find a topic for podcasting. You want to first find a business that is going to really, really work for you, then consider doing podcasting and attempting it, because it's really easy to do. And if it's a good fit, then that is something that you can pursue. So below this video, you can find a free course on how to get started with affiliate marketing, how to get started with actually choosing your online business concept. So that was the first thing that I would recommend that you do. And if you already have a business, then great. All this next information is going to apply to you. So if you have a business, then you want to basically choose your podcast name. That's the first thing that you will want to do. So my podcast is about day trading, and my brand is StokesTrades.com. That's the name of my website. However, my podcast name is Day Trading for Beginners, and I chose that because it pertains to what the podcast is about, but it also has a keyword in there, day trading for beginners. So if I jump over to Google and I type in, day trading for beginners podcast, this is a keyword that probably gets searched, maybe a few hundred times a month. And you can see here, my podcast here is ranking number 1 for Apple, number 2 for Spotify. And I think I have some other rankings here on some other podcast platforms. But here is my podcast. And this is a keyword that probably gets searched a few hundred times, maybe a month. But no one is searching StokesTrades.com, or Stokes Trades podcast if they don't know me. So there is some value there in choosing a name for your podcast that also has a potential keyword in it, like day trading for beginners. So that's important. If you can choose that and it still relates and it makes sense for your brand and for your business, then I would recommend that you go with something like that, day trading for beginners, because it's searched, as opposed to no one is searching for Stokes Trades at all if they don't already know my podcast and my brand. So that's a little tip for naming your podcast. Secondly, what we want to do is create your podcast branding. So, people recommend that you go to Canva and you can create art here for your podcast display. So there's mine, Day Trading for Beginners. I actually went to Fiverr and I had someone do this for me. I just paid a designer to do this for me. You want to go into whatever niche you're in, look at the artwork, get some ideas, and choose something that's brandable, that's readable. So that's mine, and I kind of like it. And again, keep it simple, keep it legible, and just look for some inspiration from whatever niche that you're in. And again, you can go to Canva, you can do it yourself, or you can go to Fiverr and you can have someone do it for you. The dimensions are important. You'll want to get 3000 by 3000 pixels for that artwork. For your podcast description, write a clear and compelling description. I use ChatGPT for this. ChatGPT or some other AI tool. Just tell these tools exactly what you need, and they will give you great descriptions, great show notes descriptions, and so on. So if we look at my podcast here, and you go to my episodes, if we click on some of these and look at them, all of the show notes, it's all done through ChatGPT. I don't write any of this. I just use AI tools and I give them proper prompts and they create the show notes for me, and they create the titles for me as well. So if we looked at all my episode titles, some of them I created, but sometimes I ask ChatGPT, to give me a compelling title for my podcast episode about option spreads and so on. So you'll certainly want to do that when you're writing any podcast descriptions. Use AI for this. I think it's really, really useful. To set up your podcast hosting and distribution, use a website like Buzzsprout. This is where I host my podcast. All I need to do is click upload a new podcast episode. I choose the file, I click upload, and then it automatically distributes it to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music. All you need to do is just one time connect these and you are good to go. Buzzsprout does all this for you, and you just pay a small monthly fee for them to host your podcast. I have connected YouTube, so I have a YouTube channel for this business as well. Here it is, and I have a podcast section here that you can do. So anytime I upload an episode, Buzzsprout also connects it to my YouTube channel. So Buzzsprout is what you need for your directory in terms of uploading and distributing your podcast. Super easy. There are alternatives. You can certainly go ahead and search some if you wish. I use Buzzsprout. It's really good and it's really easy to use. Other equipment that you're going to need is a microphone, and then you'll need some sort of tool to record your audio and edit your audio. So the microphone that I'm using right now is this one. It's a Shure MVX. Shure is a brand that a lot of podcasters use, and they have the Shure M7B. I think that's the more, this one's a little bit better. I think Joe Rogan uses this one. So again, you can search podcast microphones and find something on Amazon that's good. I use this brand, this MVX or MV7X, Shure. That's the microphone that I'm using. And again, you can search and find some alternatives if you wish. I'm on a Mac, so I record in GarageBand. So you can see here, this is me recording this audio for this. If you're a PC user, you can use Audacity. GarageBand is free with Macs, I know that for sure. And then I edit the audio with Premiere Pro because that's what I use for video editing as well. If I started all over, I would go and check out these websites, Podcastle or Riverside. Both of these will allow you to upload your audio and then you can edit it. You can remove background noise and so on. And it has some other features as well. I personally don't use this, but it gets recommended a lot. And again, if I didn't have Premiere Pro, I would use either Podcastle or Riverside. So I'll have links to these below this video. So once you have your, all this set up, you've got your brand, you've got your imaging, your branding set up, you've got your hosting and distributor set up. Again, you just kind of sign up for this account. It's really easy. You've bought a microphone and you've got your audio recording device. So again, GarageBand or Audacity, and you've got a way to edit your podcast. You want to record your first episode. So it's recommended that you record at least 3 or 4 episodes before launching and then upload all of those at once. And this gives your audience a chance to listen to multiple episodes when they find you and they find your podcast. So for me, the first episodes that I created, back in January was a welcome episode. So I just did an introduction about what my podcast was all about. And I talked about my blueprint for beginners. And then I talked about how AI can help a trader. And then I talked about some mistakes to avoid when you're doing day trading. So again, I talked about this, choosing your concept. A podcast's work if you really hone in on a specific pain point. So for this podcast, I believe that it's been successful because it's about beginner day traders, and I'm a beginner day trader. So I'm talking exactly how to actually start day trading from a beginner's perspective. So the pain point here is that, you want to day trade, but you don't know how to. I'm a beginner and I'm going to document my journey. So for your business concept, you want a concept that is relatable and talks to a specific person's pain point. And that's sort of what we teach in this free course for affiliate marketing. If you don't have a business idea already, if you do have a business idea, then try to target your podcast to someone's pain point in your niche and see how it goes. Again, this podcasting and setting up these first 4 episodes and just seeing how this goes doesn't take a lot of time. So no matter what business you're in, I would just say give podcasting a shot. But if you haven't started a business yet, then remember, focusing on someone's pain points and being very relatable can be good for podcasting. So once you create the first 3 or 4 episodes like I did, upload that and then plan your episodes ahead of time. So I try to have some episodes already banked and ready to go. So for me, I've got 2 episodes in September already recorded and ready to go. And that just helps you kind of not scramble and helps you have a podcast episode ready to go every single week. Now, in my affiliate marketing course, and what I also recommend students do is I recommend that they do something like this. And this has allowed me to create podcasts very easily because I repurpose content from my business. So I start by researching keywords and creating content on my website. And then basically that blog post gets turned into a podcast episode. So it's very easy. I just have to either read or just discuss the article that I've already researched and created. And that's a podcast episode. And then that can get turned into, other types of content online as well. So for my business and this sort of case study business, how to become a day trader, basically I have a list of all keywords that I've created and I've gone through, I've done keyword research, and basically a lot of these can be podcast episodes. Some of them, that get a lot of search volume here. So swing trading, I can do a podcast episode of swing trading versus day trading. So that's a keyword that I found and researched. It's a popular keyword, and that could be a podcast episode of mine. So basically what I have done with my business, if you go to my blog and we go and check out all of the articles that I've written, and basically all these articles are informational articles on my website, but then they have all been turned into podcasts as well. So if we scroll through and we look at all of these, how to choose a broker for day trading. This was an article that I researched and created, and now I created a podcast about it. Stock market order types. So I created a video and article about all the different market types, market orders, limit orders, stop orders, and we have a podcast episode about that as well. And that is basically how I create and plan the content for this particular podcast. So that could be something that you also do. It could be important for your content planning, is to redistribute the content that you already have established on your business. Or if you're just starting out, then consider going through this sequence of events to create content for your business. So again, record your first 3 or 4 episodes and launch them all together when you launch your podcast. Uploading podcast is super easy. Again, if you're using Buzzsprout, you just record your audio, export it to an audio file, click upload, and upload your audio file there. Very, very easy to do. And then you just create the show notes with AI tools like GPT. Create compelling titles. So again, you can use ChatGPT to create your titles or your show notes. Video, you can in the future, if you want, you can turn your podcast into a YouTube video if you want to re-record it, or if you want to record it as a video right from scratch, you can certainly do that. And again, YouTube integration, we mentioned that, and Buzzsprout does all of that for you. And then the next thing you need to do is just be consistent and produce content, and try this for 6 months. Record one episode for every week. If you already have an established business, then it should not be hard to find the content for this. If you are in a business that you're extremely passionate about, then it should not be hard for you to find 20 minutes a week to discuss a topic on your podcast, upload it every week, and just see where you land in 6 months. Perhaps your podcast is doing extremely well. That's awesome. And if it's not, then that's okay. Maybe your niche in your business just doesn't go well with the whole podcasting platform. Not every niche and every business can kind of work with this platform, but it's super, super easy to do. In this video we just went over, that's all you need to do. You record 4, upload it, and then every week just record an episode and upload it to Buzzsprout. Super, super easy to do. Something everyone should consider doing, because in 6 months you could have 100,000 downloads like I have had. So lastly, you will want to engage with your audience and consider doing this from the get-go. In my podcast, I have a lead magnet so people can download a blueprint. So in all my episodes and in my show notes, I say, go and download this 6-month blueprint for the niche that I'm in, day trading. And I've gotten a lot of people on my email list through that. So you might also want to consider having a lead magnet or something that you promote to your audience from the beginning of creating your podcast. And I also funnel people into a school group that beginner day traders can go and join and learn how to become day traders. So those are really the main steps that you need to take. And I hope that you found this video useful. Just wanted to quickly jot down all the specific steps that I've taken to grow this podcast from a few hundred visitors to now getting thousands of downloads every single day. And again, it's not hard work. Just upload one episode a week. So I hope that you found this video useful. Again, if you do not have a business, you've just sort of thought about doing podcasting, I would recommend that you first find a business that you're passionate about. Ask yourself the question, what would you do if you couldn't fail? That should be your business topic. Then look to see if you can use podcasting as a good platform. I would not come from the starting point that you want to do podcasting, you want to be a podcaster, and then you're going to go and try and figure out what your niche is, what your business is going to be about. I would kind of find a business that you're passionate about, and then try podcasting, because it's not hard to try. So if you need help, finding your business, finding your niche, then again, below this video, you can find access to this free course, and it kind of runs through exactly how I personally do it and how you can do it as well. So thanks so much for listening. I will see you in the next video.